Hey everybody, welcome to Golf News RI, the podcast, episode 19. I'm Joe Calabro. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And we'll be joined by Mike Caparco here in just a second to talk about his huge week or so. But real quick, a couple things. Thanks to everybody for the outpouring of support for my roadshow appearance this past Tuesday on WPRI. All the comments I heard from people that I even talked to that reached out to me and saw it. So thanks everybody for watching it. And super excited to launch Golf News RI TV this Sunday night with our first guest, Ed Kirby, down at the Equipment Club. So tune in for that as well. So thanks to everybody again for the support. Big week. It's been obviously the US Open qualifier at Kirkbride, and obviously high school stuff is picking up as well. So we'll get into not so much the high school stuff, but we'll get into some of that, all those results on golfnewswire.com and more. So without further ado, Mike, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to come on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely excited to be here. By the way,
Without,
absolutely professional intro, 10 out of 10.
well, I don't know about that, but it's good enough. I try to encompass what's going on in the golf world, and obviously it's been a big week for Golf News RI as a business. So I try to do that as well. But you've had, speaking of big weeks, you've had a big week. You've had a heck of a week. You and Jamie Lukowicz win the RI four ball. Then you come to the US Open qualifier at Kirkbride and you make the cut. So just I want to get into specific events and the specifics of them, the details of them, but just what has this week been like? I mean, obviously you're playing really good golf. What has this whole week been like for you? It'll be crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is what I love to do, to be honest. I've always been a guy who's loved to get out there and feel like, as we talked about a little bit before, I've always been playing sports and stuff like that, and just that competition. Something about tournament golf gets me excited, and I love to do it. So,
Yeah, you were talking about how you came from, you played football and wrestled and baseball for a lot of your life, or at least for the, high school part of your life, high school, college, probably somewhere in there. When did golf become a thing for you? When were you like, okay, that's enough of the other stuff. It's time to play golf. When was that? And
yeah, I
why?
mean, I've always grown up. My dad actually had like a driving range in the backyard, which I don't know. I'm not supposed to be talking about this, but we used to kind of hit balls like over one of our neighbor's house and stuff. So I've always grown up like, I know it's a kind of a shit show, but I've always grown up hitting a ball, but it wasn't, when I got to Rick my freshman year, I think I forget what year that is now, but that's when I really started to, grind on. I'd not grind on it, but take it serious and start to play.
And then, you obviously worked your way up. Uh, you how much did playing college golf get you ready for, kind of the amateur circuit, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun because I don't know, my college experience, it was good, but yeah, I felt like it wasn't what I expected out of college golf, really. It wasn't, I don't know. I don't want to get into really the specifics of it too much, but yeah, I mean, there's some memories of like taking the 5 a.m. van ride up to this course in Western Mass, no range, and just going like teeing up in a shotgun and playing a tournament on a course you've never seen before, you know. So I guess that I don't even know how that relates to now, but I guess that was like the initiation into it. So
Yeah,
it's a
no.
lot better when you have the RIGA and they do a good job hosting the events. Great venues, stuff like that. So
So we'll start with the four ball. Last week, you and Jamie Lukowicz lit it up in the second round, 9 under 62, I think, in the second round to take the victory. Strategy, obviously, we all play four ball. I have my Kirkbride four ball qualifier on Saturday for whatever that's worth. But four ball is such uh a fun thing because you obviously have a partner and you guys were just going back and forth with birdies and picking each other up here or there, which is what you have to do, digging and donging as they call it. What was that like to just get that hot, especially in that second round?
yeah, I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. And to be honest, I always talk with Jamie about this because we have play a match against each other every Friday. And we'll look at each other like, dude, if we played best ball today, we've been like nine under. So we just were talking on the range the second day. I think we were three back, and we're just like, dude, let's just do what we do, at the end of the day. Like we both know we can go out there and fire a bunch of birdies, and we got hot, and obviously some putts went in, and you know, I was playing a match against him too in my head, which probably helped me a lot. I was like, well, Jamie's out here. He hit it to this on the first two holes. I can't. I actually asked him if he wanted to have a little most birdies bet out there. We don't want to talk about if he'd accepted it or not, but that's kind of what I was trying to in my head, because I know he's going to play good. He's obviously a legend, in Rhode Island golf. So I just didn't want to get shown up. I guess if he made 5 birdies, I wanted to try and make 5 or 6. So.
And then when did you? I mean, obviously, you guys knew you were making a big run. There's obviously other great teams in the field. But how much were you looking at the scoreboard and saying, we're 3 ahead, or we're 1 ahead, or we're 1 behind, whatever it was? I mean, are you a scoreboard watcher, or are you rather just go out and play and see what happens?
See, I usually am, but this time we didn't, and it probably helped us because obviously, he's been there a bunch of times. This is my first dub. So he was like, I was like, let's look at the scoreboard. He didn't want to see it. He was kind of yelling at me in the car. He's like, don't pull that, don't pull it up. So we didn't look at it at all. And I used the same strategy like at the other day at the US Open qualifier. There's a big scoreboard right there on 10. You can't miss it. And I made a point not to look at it, and it kind of kept me focused. I didn't think about, it helped me stay one shot at a time. So I'll probably use that going forward too.
So I was gonna get into this portion with the U.S. Open qualifier, but you just brought it up. So that's like so interesting to me is that, and I'm not saying there's not a right or wrong, but people that look at the scores and are following the boards, and people that like don't, and just like the whole strategy with it. You said you previously were a scoreboard guy, but now you said you might not do it. So I
don't know
find that such an interesting
to be
strategy,
honest.
you know?
Yeah, no, I don't know what I am. Like, I feel like I haven't been there enough to really know, but I just know that when I didn't look at it, I felt like I wasn't thinking about it, and I was able to just kind of do my stuff and, not get ahead of myself. Obviously you see your name up there, you might react like, oh shit, or you could, it depends. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I
mean,
just wanted to,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, just help me stay in a little bit of a bubble, more of a bubble, I guess.
I feel like that's the way, like for most golfers, like especially like listen, I stink. I enjoy playing, but I'm not very good. But when I am playing decent, right, which is for me, low 40s kind of thing, 5 9 holes. When I'm looking, and then I know I'm playing decent in my head, so then I'll look at the score and I'll start adding up the numbers, right? You're going into the turn, you start adding up the numbers. You're waiting for a
Yeah,
drink at the bar.
%.
You're adding up the score. You know what I mean? And now you're totally screwed because now it's in your head. For me anyway, like what I'm
Yeah, no,
shooting, and I'm like, oh man, I could shoot like 85 today, which is good for me. So I feel like that's something for all golfers. Like we all get in our own heads. That's the game. That's the game.
yeah. The thing is out there, like, it doesn't matter what you are. I'm with you, dude. I've messed up so many great or good rounds on 18, thinking about like, oh my God, I'm this many under, like I'm this or this. Like, I don't know. Some people it might help, and maybe in a certain situation, but I don't know. Sometimes if you realize you got to finish until the last putt, you know. So what you are on 15 green doesn't really matter, I guess.
Right. With the U.S. Open qualifier, I think, and Kirk was lucky enough to have hosted the last 3, including this year, and it's been fascinating to watch. I follow the pros in the Monday Qs, the local pros that play Monday Qs, like the Will Dixons and Andrew Larry and all these guys, and it's just fascinating because it's one shot, could ruin your dream, quote unquote. So for that, something like that, this is a little bit different because you still have the final qualifying, so it's not necessarily apples to apples as a Monday Q. But what was kind of the strategy going into that? Obviously you knew you had to go low. Did you have a score in mind? Did you have kind of a number that you thought was going to get it done? And what was kind of
Um,
the thinking going into a big qualifier like that?
no, I was just kind of thinking that if I knew if I played solid, I would have a chance, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just had a good feeling going into it. I feel like, um, I don't know. I almost, when I play tournaments, I almost get into try to get into a different mindset, like not thinking about the swing and just going out and trying to score and, not really thinking about, hey, I have to shoot 5 under because then it puts too much pressure. Just try to have my best round, and wherever the chips fall, I feel like if I play good, then I'll have a good chance.
How
I
much
don't know if that makes
confidence?
sense.
No, yeah, I mean, for you, if you play your best, you should have a chance to make the cut. I mean, I think most players, most top amateurs at you guys level, probably feel that way. If they play their best, whether that's
Yeah,
2, 3, or 4 under par for a round,
exactly.
you should be in the conversation, at least, if not easily in. How much you went from the four ball to the qualifier? Obviously, you played great. How much confidence did you take from the four ball into that qualifier and throughout the rest of the season? Obviously, again, you had a partner, but you still had to make shots. You still made birdies. So yeah, it's a partner, but you still had to play. So how much confidence do you take from that, and will you take from that, uh, going the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a huge boost for confidence. I mean, just to know that it's like that validation, knowing that, you can do it. And once I guess you pop that cherry a little bit, you know, you can kind of roll and you feel good and you feel like, obviously golf is up and down. I think everyone who plays understands that. Like, so it is
Um,
what it is. Just keep plugging away. But it definitely, like I said, was a huge confidence boost.
well, at the level I play at, there's certainly more downs than there are ups. But
Well, I mean, I
not
don't
for
know.
you
I
guys.
feel like
You guys, it's the
no,
opposite.
everyone has that. Everyone has those swings, but
Um, so you go to the final qualifying. What kind of preparation? I know you're still waiting to hear officially what your slate is going to be. You're hoping for New Jersey, but it's not official yet, so I don't want to get in trouble. Um, but what kind of preparation will you do for that? Will you talk to people that have done it? Are you just gonna wing it? Like, what do you think?
yeah,
Last
I'm probably. I don't know. I mean, maybe I should kind of ask for a little bit of advice as to what to expect. But I feel like it's not going to be too different from the USAM qualifier, which is 36 holes in one day. So I'm just gonna, I've played decent in that in the past, so I'm just gonna kind of pretend it's that. I know obviously what to expect with the 36 holes, so I'm not too, just kind of do my thing and try to play my golf and hopefully get through.
That'd be a hell of a summer if you end up getting into
Why
the
not, dude?
get into
Let's
the US
go.
Open. Yeah, and you and Bennett Masterson. Bennett was the other Rylander that made the cut. So you have two Rylanders to watch for anyway. Will you guys hook up as far as I don't know if you just picked the same. So I'm assuming everyone's hoping to go to the same site, but I don't know. Will you guys communicate as far as maybe travel or anything like that, or every man for himself?
Yeah. I mean, I played with him once before at Newport, but I don't know him too well, um, as far as that goes. But yeah, I would definitely love to link up with him and play a couple practice rounds. I mean, I don't really know the process, like how if we get practice rounds, how many, I'm sure we do, but how many days, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to link up with him. I know he's a great player, so
Yeah. So yeah, so that's awesome. So you'll be in the final qualifying for the US Open. I remember last year when Tommy McCormick we got through 2 years in a row, and the first year he came back, and I said, "What was it like?" And he goes, "It was a lot harder than I expected it to
have
be."
we had people from Rhode Island get through before and actually play in the US Open?
I don't think so. No, I
Hmm.
mean, I, no, I don't think anybody from
I
Ryan's ever
think I
got.
remember Kevin Silva did it. I'm not sure.
Maybe Kevin Silver might have done it. Yeah, he might be the one. I mean, I know he's not from Ryan, but Michael Thorbjornsen obviously has
Hmm.
gotten through the qualifying. Um, but
What kind of
yeah,
numbers? What kind of numbers? Because I didn't really follow it last year. Like what?
let's see, I can tell you in 2 seconds. Um,
As we're talking about before, don't think about numbers when you before you
yeah,
play.
well, it's
Don't
good to know. I mean, it's interesting to know
You got to
what.
set your expectations that you have to play your best golf. Like that's it. There's no room for mistakes if you want to make it through, I think. So that's kind of my mindset, like just knowing that, I just have to play great golf. Like there's going to be great golfers there. You can't expect to like just have a good day and get through or, an average day.
Tune in Sunday evenings on CW Providence for Golf News RITV. Golf News RITV covers everything from local high school and amateur golf to professional golf news throughout the tours. Join host Joe Calabro every Sunday evening at 10:30 on CW Providence.
So the last year, I just found I went on the USGA website. So the last year at this was in Summit, New Jersey. I don't know if it's the same spot, but they're in the same unit. Yeah. So last year, Thor Bjornsson took medalist honors at 8 under par,
Okay.
and 5 under made the cut.
Okay.
There last year there were 67 players for 4 spots. So
Well, I'll tell you what, somebody's got to take those 4 spots.
why not you?
Let's get it.
Maybe you and Bennett can take the 2 of the spots. Then we have 2 guys at Pinehurst, and then
Oh
I'll
my
put it
God,
for
that's
presidentials for the U.S. Open at Pinehurst.
Let's do it. You're coming with us.
Well, other than so yeah, so I think the final qualifying is in June. It's usually the Monday or the week before the U.S. Open. This is the longest day in golf. It's one of the more famous days. Is all the qualifiers generally are on the same day all across the country. It's pretty neat. So that's coming up. Other than that, obviously the RA Amateur is a big one for you. Others, I'm sure you're in many other tournaments, the whole amateur circuit. But what are you looking forward to other than the U.S. Open final qualifying? But what are you looking forward to the kind of the rest of the summer as far as your golf game goes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, playing in all the Rhode Island stuff and try to get in anything else. I would love to play in like some bigger events. I just don't know how to get into them. So I don't know if this podcast has any pull, but let's go. I need some invites.
Oh, you keep winning, and you'll get you'll be receiving the invitations, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, other than obviously, the Rhode Island stuff, there's not much, unfortunately, there's not much like tournament golf around here. So, but regardless, I'm excited to play in that and just see, I guess, what comes next. I'm really focused on. It's tough to see my life pass like these like June 4th date. You know what I mean? I'm kind of just having blinders on for that, and I want to get. This is a good. I mean, really once in a long time opportunity. I want to make sure I'm putting my best foot forward and getting my shit together and getting ready to compete with those guys that are like put their life to the game. So,
Yeah, for sure. And it's not so much up here, but the final qualifiers that are like down in Florida and Georgia, like that area, those areas, that's where you get like the real pros. Like you'll have like
oh yeah, those guys are legit.
like the Ricky Fowler's. Not I think he's in now, but previous years he was in the final qualifying. Like so you could be paired with like Ricky Fowler and like Billy Horschel, and
That's
you're like,
awesome.
and you're like, what the hell am I doing here?
Well,
But
I don't know if I don't know if I'd like that. I'm excited to. That's what I want, to be honest. Like that. How better like of a gauge for your game can it be playing against the best golfers in the world? Like if you're going to be in that event, like why not play Ricky Fowler? That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, and plus, if you're gonna make it, you want to play. You want to have a cool experience. You want to play with somebody cool, or do something cool. So yeah, I mean,
Like if me and Bennett teed it up at sectionals, I'd probably. Although he's a great kid, he's a great dude, but I'd probably be a little disappointed. Like I'd rather obviously you want to get a tee time with somebody, big name guy.
yeah, I don't know how many big name guys will be in the Northeast, but you never know. I mean, Michael Bjornsson's a pretty big name, so I don't know if he's got a qualifier or not. I'm not sure, but he's a stud. So you're focused on this because obviously, if you get through this, your whole summer changes because now you're going to the Open, and so obviously, totally makes sense that you have blinders on. You're not really even thinking about the amateur, necessarily, but but. What do you think? You've obviously been around, you play a lot. What is the state of golf right now in Rhode Island? It feels like it's at an all-time high with the top amateurs, the high school kids on the rise, guys turning pro. What do you think the state of golf is in Rhode Island right now?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, we got some really, really great players around Rhode Island, obviously. Guys are shooting like under par now. I remember when I first started, I think I was in like the final group of the Burke. this was like, I don't know, probably 7, 8 years ago. I think I shot like 1 over and I was like in contention to win. I was like, damn, now you look at the leaderboard, everybody's in red numbers. Like I remember the AM last year, I think like 6 or 7 guys were under par, like for the 2 days. So there's some good competition and, definitely helps you sharpen your game because you know that you're going to have to, if you want to compete in these events, like you're going to have to be ready to go.
And what kind of venue you think Warwick's going to be for the end? I'm excited for that 9th hole to see how you guys.
I mean, we all know what kind of venue it's going to be. It's going to be 10 out of 10. That golf course is amazing. I know they're going to have the greens rolling, just the setting, everything is perfect there.
What do you hit on 9?
On 9 for a club, it depends on the wind. I've played there where it's been like a 4-iron, and I've played there when it's been like an 8-iron. But I don't know. Nice calm day. It's probably a nice soft 7. Sorry, my dog's going crazy in the background right now.
Oh, I can't hear him, so it's all right. But listen, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. Good luck in the U.S. Open final qualifying. I'll certainly be following. Obviously, we'll keep track of you guys and you and Bennett and whoever else. Perhaps Bobby gets in as an alternate. That'd be something.
That'd be awesome.
But listen, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's RI Four-Ball, one half of the RI Four-Ball champions, Mike Caparco. He's also qualified in advancing to final stage of U.S. Open qualifying. So thanks to Mike for coming on. Golf News RI TV premieres Sunday at 10:30. First guest Ed Kirby on the CW network. So check that out, and we'll keep track and follow Golf News RI all weekend long for updates on Davis Chatfield and Patrick Welch and the Korn Ferry Tour, and various other things going on in the world of Ryland Golf. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Joe Calabro. We'll talk to you next time on Golf News RI, the podcast.
Tune in Sunday evenings on CW Providence for Golf News RI TV. Golf News RI TV covers everything from local high school and amateur golf to professional golf news throughout the tours. Join host Joe Calabro every Sunday evening at 10:30 on CW Providence.